we interrupt your regularly scheduled program for this special series of Stream of Thought.
Live back from Chicago, Illinois. Here we are once again, month and a half later, Stream of Thought episode number 103. And today, we got some catching up to do. I mean, I got these bruises all over my body. I got some new kicks on.
Oh yeah, real stylish.
Life is looking good, my friend.
I tell a story about my adventure to the post office, some mishaps, and a little bicycle incident that piggybacks off of Rix's major bicycle incident.
Then we talk a little bit about what's going on with Victor.
Yeah.
I mean, he's selling stuff on eBay. He's getting ready to move. He's getting a new job at a new location with the same company. I mean, there's a lot that's going on right now.
Rix brings us up to speed because he's here in the studio.
I'm back in the midst of my travels once again. I find myself back in the studio, and just it's another rockin' episode of Stream of Thought. I love this. I've missed this, and you know, if you haven't been listening to our Throwback Thursdays,
that's why I did
I
did the cheesy transatlantic accent, like, because it's. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, because we've done the Throwback Thursday specials.
Which aren't actually on Thursdays anymore.
Yeah, I've been lacking. But
which is totally
who
cool.
notices? If you have a real problem, you can email us. How do they get in touch with us?
streamofthoughtpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. But, Rix is back, so this is great. So anytime he's back in town, we're going to totally go back to what we were doing before doing the Throwback Thursdays series for the straight-up episodes that were previously recorded many moons ago. But anyway, episode number 103, Stream of Thought. We hope you enjoy. So welcome back.
Thank you, good sir.
I'm excited that we get to do a normal episode in between these straight up
Throwback
special episodes. Yeah,
and they're not as bad as I thought they were. I was really kind of dreading some
Really?
of our first, or I wasn't sure how awkward they were going to be. And then I listened to them, and we didn't really stutter over ourselves
no,
too
the
much.
first couple that went through, I think the first one that we did, I was listening to it and I had my head in my hands, just like, this sounds terrible. But I think it was just getting used to, I don't know if people that are listening can tell, but I can certainly tell the difference between just the fluidity now versus the lack of fluidity before. And then I listened to it again. I was like, oh, it's really not that bad. So I think I entered it with a little bit of trepidation, which made me in my head think that it maybe wasn't as good as it was, but they're all pretty great.
I agree.
Yeah.
Enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing. So I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back for a little bit.
Back again.
Back again. Swinging through. I feel like this is becoming a habit.
So before we get up to speed
so many places to begin.
things, I have a few things that I need to bring up. And please, if you don't want to talk about that, that's okay. But I noticed on your leg you had a scrape, and then on your arm it looked like you were like.
I was wondering if
what were you doing? How many? Is this a bicycle?
So
this is a bicycle.
Tell me what you see for our audio listeners
It looks
right now.
Okay. So you have a very mild. Well, not mild, but it's not like a thick scab. It looks like your arm brushed against concrete, but just enough that it took off a little bit of skin, but not enough where you'd be like bleeding all over the place.
I believe they call that road burn.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's the term for it. Yeah. I mean, it looks like typical road burn, like a very, very light road burn.
Yes.
You were right. It isn't. It was a bicycle accident. So
this is what. But this is.
Oh my god.
This is number not a major accident in the sense that you're breaking a bone or going to the hospital.
Oh,
but
yeah, I would consider this up there in the semi-major category.
This is like the third or fourth semi-major bicycle accident you've
had.
It's the third.
So it's interesting because the bike that I have, and I was doing the math, I've had it for 12 years now.
Okay.
So I got it right after graduating high school. And that thing probably, no joke, has about 100,000 miles on it.
Especially these last 6 to 12 months where you're even cycling through the fucking snow.
Yeah, going through the snow, man. That thing has been through hell and back.
I know,
like
yeah.
literally. And so I've tried to keep it in relatively good shape, but it slowly deteriorates over time. I mean, and it was to the point where it was for the past couple of weeks it's been in pretty shoddy condition. Like the front brakes weren't really working too well. Wasn't really sure what was going on with that. The gears were having trouble shifting.
Okay.
And so overall, and then I had lost one. It's a really long story, but things were starting to sort of fall apart.
I remember the first occurrence when you were telling me how frustrated you were with making an attempt to replace the inner tube in the tire, right? One day you were trying to patch it up, and you just couldn't find the patch, and then you like patched up the entire tube, and then that still didn't work.
Yeah, that another hole had popped up or something like that. So this, I've repaired it a lot too. So I try to keep it in functional condition.
Yeah.
So apparently, what had happened is I bike to work now, and it's about a 7.5 mile bike ride each way. Fuck. So about 15 miles. It takes me about 45 to 50 minutes to get there, and it's an interesting route because I'm taking front roads. Okay. So there's no sidewalk, and in some cases there's no shoulder. And so luckily, because they're front roads, there's not a lot of traffic, and it's not that big of a deal. But then there are certain areas, like a mile going uphill to my work. It's a 4-lane road with no shoulder and no sidewalk, and all these industrial buildings.
Uphill, 45-degree incline, or what?
There are a couple 45-degree inclines. It's pretty awful. So the problem is that there's no sidewalk, and so you have to go over just a really bumpy area.
Okay.
So apparently what had happened is it was a Friday, so the end of the work week. Done with my first week. Feeling great. It was a great, everything about...
It's the weekend.
It's the weekend, and I really enjoyed my time starting this job. And so I was in a really good mood.
Morale is through the roof.
I'm like, I'm getting ready to head back to Chicago and then to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Things are great. I'm feeling really happy. And so I'm going down, and I have to cross these train tracks. My bike hits a bump, and apparently what had happened is that the reason why the brake in the front wasn't working is because one of the screws had come off and knocked one of the brakes to the side. And so it hit a bump, and it jerked out of the prongs holding the axle of the wheel. And as my bike went airborne, like an inch off the ground, and hit and bounced, the wheel came off the prongs. I flipped over the front handles of my bike into the street.
This isn't the first time you flipped over your bike.
This is the third time in the past, 3 or 4 years that I flipped over the front of my bike. So I'm getting pretty used to it right now, which is why it's not my face this time, it's my elbow. So I flip over my bike. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Yeah. Because I had no idea what just happened. I'm like, what? I'm on the ground again. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
You're on the ground, and then you're trying to
me?
figure out what just happened.
Yeah, because I'm just in shock. I'm like, something just happened to my bike. And so my bike is behind me. I had my suitcase, or my leather bag.
The nice leather bag that your sister got for your birthday or for Christmas. Let me guess. Did it get either really scratched up from gravel, or it fell in a pool of it ripped? Damn.
The handle just ripped right off. And you know what? It might have served actually as kind of a seatbelt, because I think it got caught on the handle. So as opposed to going on my face, I was able to get my thing on. So, but anyway, just ripped out. My coffee mug is splayed across the road. Yeah. I got my whole bag is just poured out onto the ground. And here, there's a line of 25 cars crossing the track and stuff like that. I'm right by the side, so I'm not in the middle of the road. But there's a crossroad where you can go, get onto the main road where all the cars are. And here, I know everyone's just looking at oh my god, because I'm wearing a button-down shirt and khakis and things like that. Yeah. And here, my arm is just red with a little bit of blood, and you can tell some people are just like,
button-down shirt ruined. Can't get it fixed. It's all
the thing.
frayed and messed up.
So first thing I do is I look at my bike and the wheel is off. The wheel is off the axle. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And so I look at the prongs where it was on because I'm like, I'm 7 miles from work or from home. You know, how am I going to get home, kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And so I look at the prongs, and when the tire came off, it ripped one of the back prongs on like the right side off. It like just sheared it off. And this is metal. This is like cast steel or whatever.
Yeah.
And like really, like wow, I did not expect that to happen. And I'm like, oh shit, like because I had my sunglasses on, like my nice sunglasses. I had lots. I had my phone in my pocket.
Yeah.
I had all this sort of stuff. I get everything together. Nothing else is broken. It's like my bag and my bike is like in 2 pieces.
And
right
your
now.
spirit.
And my spirit. And as I'm like trying to get the tire back on my bike, this guy who is like all but naked. He's a jogger, but he's got like the super short shorts on, no shirt, and he's kind of he's
burly fella.
He's got a gut, and so it's really awkward.
Yeah.
But he stops and he's like, "Do you need any help?" Like, no, like this is kind of like a one man thing. I gotta figure out what's going on here. And so I managed somehow to get the wheel back onto the prongs of the bike, and the way that it was secure enough in. I just needed to make sure I didn't go over any more bumps or was not going fast enough to like lift the bike off the ground. I could probably be fine. So I ended up going at a much slower pace. Got back in like an hour, whatever. And it was
So this is the very beginning of your bike trip. Like
so,
within
for the perfect
first
week that I had, like all those little things that may go wrong during the week kind of just like combined into the 5 seconds that I was in midair and then hitting the concrete.
But this happened like within the first 5 minutes of you riding.
I had literally just left work. I'd maybe gone half a mile. And so yeah, that was the end.
Wow.
So yeah, it's always something, man. It's always something.
So is this bike still somewhat functional, or at this point is this bike similar to like a spare tire where you've only maybe got another 60 miles left on this thing and then you just have to get a new one?
Yeah, I think we're near the. I mean, I can probably still get to work, but
its days are numbered.
I want to be wearing bubble wrap on my way because I don't know when that thing is just gonna literally just finish falling apart.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's been an adventure with that bike, but I've gotten my money's worth, man.
I told you, I think the last episode that we did together when you were here, I had told you what happened to my bike with the pedal falling off.
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
I don't remember that.
No?
You might have, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was riding my bike to work because it's nice outside and, it's good weather and it feels good sometimes to ride your bike at night, too, when I'm leaving work. Anyway, I'm riding to work and I always go underneath this tree when I ride my bike. There's like some that have pine cones fall. And I don't go I'm not going fast, I'm just riding at normal speed. And my back tire had ran over a pine cone. And so in between the time that it hit the pine cone to when it hit the ground, it was maybe in mid-air for like a fraction of a second. But in that time, the wheel had, in mid-air, had just shifted maybe like a half inch. So when the back tire landed, I could feel the abruptness of it going a little bit off to the side. The moment after that happened, my left pedal felt a little weird. Like it was just off. It was still tight, but it was off. And I ride after that. I'm right at work by this time. So I only ride, maybe like 100 yards, down and around. And that's it. Tie my bike up. I'm at work. I leave, right? And then when I leave work with the bicycle, all of a sudden, like, it just feels really loose. And so I'm riding. I ride about back to the same spot where the pine cone thing happened. So I ride for about no, this happened sooner, I think. I don't know. Anyway, shortly thereafter, completely irrelevant. Shortly thereafter, the pedal just falls off. The actual pedal with the arm that connects to the chain.
No.
So it's not just the black pedal.
Didn't tell me this.
It's with the arm too.
Oh my god.
And so I'm like, what the fuck? And I have no idea like what happened. So I walk my bike up this very mild incline, and then I ride it down a little hill, and then on the way back home, it's all downhill until right before my house. And so I'm riding this bicycle. I'm holding the pedal in my hand, and I'm riding the bicycle, and it's so weird. I'm riding this thing with one foot, and the thing is, because my bicycle is it's a fixed gear, the pedals are always moving unless I flip the tire around. The pedals are always going to be moving. So I'm like doing a bicycle motion with one leg, yes. And I'm crossing the street right before I get to, and it's weird because it throws off your balance, so you have to shift your weight one side like differently. It's so weird. So I get to this intersection right before the hill where I have to get off and walk my bike up.
Did you pick up the pedal?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get up, and there's a car that I see coming to the stop sign, and I was too and it sees me. I see it because I have lights on my bike, and I was too embarrassed that my pedal fell off. That I was looking like such a jackass with one pedal that while I was crossing the intersection, I pedaled with my left leg. I did the motion with my left leg to make it look like I was riding my bike instead of pedaling with my right leg and having my left leg just sticking off to the side. Mm-hmm. And that was like a couple months ago, and I found out it's just a little bolt that you just have to screw on. I haven't gotten it yet. I probably will never get around to it, but it really upset me. I'm just like, damn, like in the middle of bicycle season, and now I can't use this bicycle anymore.
I know. I mean, if you don't take care of your bike, it'll fall apart at some point.
And changing gears.
Oh God.
The other thing that I want to bring up was when we got out the car and I noticed your shoes, and I thought, man, those are some really stylish shoes for Rix. And I thought, these are stylish shoes for anybody. And I was like, I kind of want to get a pair for myself. So, did you get these on your own? Were they a gift?
Hell no.
How did you come across these?
I wish I had that sort of style, my friend. No. I think this was the result of going shopping with Victor and his wife, Allie.
Okay.
Yeah. So, other Victor, Minnesota Victor,
yeah.
obviously. And so they said, before you start work, we need to upgrade your wardrobe.
Yep.
That includes things that aren't just work-related, so these sort of more casual shoes. And I said, okay, I'm putting my fashion in your hands, and we'll see what happens. So I'm glad that you like them, man. I tried these on, and I'm like, I like these.
Yeah.
The moment I put them on, I said, these are the ones.
They're great. They're trendy.
I'd probably tried on like a dozen shoes. I never do that. I'm not a fashionable person.
You know what would make it even trendier? Now, this is going to segue into another topic. Wearing those shoes without any socks, or having socks that can't be seen.
I was thinking about that,
those look really classy.
Yeah.
Now, me on the other hand, I'm looking like a dumbass because I'm wearing my Sperry's.
Your Sperry's.
With ankle socks that claimed to be no-show socks when I bought them on Amazon.
Oh, no.
And they clearly show.
They are show
and I'm
socks.
super pissed. Which is why, lately, when I'm walking around or, like, I'm doing something, I don't wear these Sperry's barefoot because the leather insert got gross and I had to pull it out, and then I have, like, this other thing in there. Mm-hmm. Which doesn't work out. So I used to always just wear the no-show ankle socks. But the universe has this weird law that requires it to just make your socks disappear after an X amount of,
steps.
Not of steps, but just laundry sessions. So I don't know what happens.
Oh,
but
yes, you're right.
I have I have 6 pairs, and then I have 5.5, and then I have 5, and then I have 4.5, and then all of a sudden I have half of a sock, like one sock. I don't know what the hell happens. So I get these socks on Amazon, and they look great, and they look awesome and everything, and they still show. So what the fuck?
Yep.
So, as a result, what I do is I'll sometimes try and hide the sock, but it creeps back up. Anyway, I've been wearing a lot of. I wear my sandals around. I don't have any flip-flops. My flip-flops broke.
Oh, okay.
So I have like these...
Those were well worn.
I have like
those
these
old ones.
Adidas sandals. They are like the type that say like, it massages your foot. Bro, those sandals suck. They hurt your foot. You have to wear them with socks. I've been able to wear them now long enough where it like doesn't hurt me without socks. But here's the thing. I've come to realize that this last season, going into spring and summer, I enjoy wearing socks for two reasons. They keep my feet warm, and I don't like the feeling of having dirty feet, which is why I wear socks a lot. Mm-hmm. And sandals are really easy because you just slip them on, slip them off. The problem is I have these socks that I can't wear with my Sperry's because they show, but I can't wear my Sperry's barefoot, but I can wear my sandals barefoot, but then after a while, it feels dirty and they get uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But I have to wear them with socks, but wearing socks with sandals looks goofy, and I've gotten to the point where it's like, I don't fucking care. I don't care. Like,
so what do? You don't care in what?
I mean, it depends on my mood.
It depends on your mood.
Like, if I see a hot girl, I'll like slip it down real quick. But if I'm just like, and I think it's like to the point too where it's like I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm 30. It's one of those things I think that just switches in your brain when you turn 30. I don't care, whatever. So like I'll wear this like this, but like if I'm depending on what I'm doing, if I'm going to be going out and I'm seeing peers, then I'll like tuck this under to keep my,
Just need to get a different pair of socks, man.
I know.
Because you figure those are going to disappear in a couple of months anyway. So,
dude, I don't know what's going on because it claimed to be a 6 pair. Somehow,
now there's 3.
No, somehow I have 8 pairs.
What?
On the package, it says like 6-day socks or 7-day socks or something, and I have. I don't know what happened. But I don't know. Maybe they're compensating for the this universal
false advertising.
This universal law that somehow functions without anybody's understanding.
Yeah. Yeah. So I ended up going through the whole wardrobe thing, and I got quite a bit of clothes upgrade.
Dude, I almost want to take a few pictures of myself in some of my summer clothes with the pastel shorts and pastel.
I can't do that.
Dude, it makes you feel great. You don't want to feel like a watermelon?
That is the best image. I never had the desire to feel like a watermelon. No.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, the plaid and the stripes.
Pastel, you can get like some nice hot pink shorts with like a hot green shirt, or like if you want to feel like a lemon in a refreshing glass of water. I have like this nice like sky blue shorts with a yellow shirt, the yellow shorts with like a nice pastel green.
I'm much more muted. I like feeling like I'm camouflage.
Yeah.
I can just walk against a wall and disappear.
Yeah. Oh, dude. The other thing I want to... Did we ever talk about the post office stuff? Or when I was... No?
I don't believe so.
How I've been, like, lately selling stuff on eBay.
Yeah, we had talked about that you were getting ready to. You hadn't actually put anything... Oh, you would just put stuff up. So...
Okay.
You had just started doing your purge, and... It was on there that you would just
let me pause real quick because I told the whole story about socks and I kind of feel like I've just been talking. So is there anything that you want to bring up before we come back to the post office?
This is a dialogue. Let's keep it going. We're good.
So I sell stuff on eBay, and on eBay you write up the description, and to calculate the shipping cost you put in the weight and approximate dimensions of the package that you'll put it in. I don't know what I'm doing, so I put in the weight and I put in the dimensions. And then I can't find a box that's perfect for this item. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I end up getting this one box that's too big, but I'm just like, whatever. Like the item fits in the box and it's done by weight, so whatever. And they're like, all right, the shipping for this will be like $66. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean? And they're joking around with me because of the dimensions. And they're like, oh yeah, because of these dimensions, like, I know I see the item is this small, like, you're pretty much paying to ship air. They're making a joke. And I didn't know that at the post office, when you get boxes, you buy a box, you can take a box cutter. I guess that's why they call it a box cutter. That just blew my mind. For this reason, that you can like cut it in half, or like cut it so that it fits perfectly. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't
So
know
like
you
if
could
you
do
have
that,
a
though.
box, what I did was I had figured out where to cut it, and I cut it, and then I just stuck the inner edges inside and slid the top half on top of the bottom half, and then it was like $20 shipping and handling. But anyway, I'm going through this the eBay, and I'm like, I've never mailed anything more than an envelope. Like, I don't know how this works. I don't know what.
Oh yeah.
Like first class. That's
Priority.
Like priority express. I'm like, wait.
Express overnight. Yeah.
Wait, I know overnight, but priority and first class, what they sound. Oh, first class is just a fancy way to say standard. Like there's flat rate shipping, but there's only for these size boxes. There's not flat rate shipping. Boxes are free. You only pay for shipping, but these boxes you have to pay for. Do you want a padded envelope, a non-padded? Like, I don't know what is going on. I have no idea what's happening.
Yep.
And the last thing I want is to be at the post office where there's a million people, which seems like it's always like that. Luckily, these times that I've gone, it's not. And I go in there. I'm doing this whole thing on the desk there, cutting the box, buying their bubble wrap, using tape, using their box cutter, like this whole production. I finally get it mailed. And then after just that one mishap, I'm like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing. Bro, I'm shipping things left and right. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing research. I know exactly what to get. And it's funny because I just realized, like, man, just things that you don't know how to do unless you make mistakes and learn how to do them yourself.
How long did it take you to realize the box thing? Was it your first try or?
Yeah, it was my first try, and I got to figure
caught
it
it
out.
early.
It was just a pain in the ass to do.
Huh. Well, yeah, I'm definitely of that opinion. I'll send a package every once in a while, and every time I go in, I have to relearn the whole process over again. I mean, I don't know if people our age, that's a common problem, but I feel like we don't really use the post office at all anymore. We'll send packages every once in a while. I mean, but even when friends are getting married or whatever, you buy it off the site, and the site will ship it and pack it and everything. So
I guess in my brain,
anymore.
I just always thought there was a box, a perfect size box for any and all items that you ever wanted to ship. I don't know why I thought that, but I was like, oh, yeah, I'll just eventually find a box that fits this. Nope, not that easy.
No, it's not.
But, dude, guess how much stuff I've sold on eBay? How the amount?
5,000?
No, hell no. It's like $400 worth of stuff.
I was close.
Yeah. But it is a pain in the ass because like YouTube, you have to list it just the right way. You have to have a fancy description, take really great photos. It's like, I don't know. I don't know how
eBay is, and I'm assuming you don't really have a seller rating.
No, I've only sold like 8 things on eBay ever.
Yeah. So,
but
it's always hard to get your value's worth when you have a low seller rating because you're an unknown seller.
But I do have I'm 3 for 3 with positive feedback.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, you would be too, because as long as you take the pictures and you send them what you've taken the pictures of, it'll tend to be fine. But
I got this new thing where
how many bids are sorry, you can go on, but I'm like, how many bids are people placing on this stuff?
Not a lot, like between 10 and 15 or something like that. It's not like crazy.
eBay is not a huge thing anymore. But go on.
With the other thing that was a pain in the ass was because I had to write their address on the box and get a shipping label. Like you can just print a shipping label, but the thing is too is I think on one of them I miscalculated the weight, so I ended up paying a little. Like they paid $13 in shipping and handling, but I had to pay like $20, so I ended up paying like $7 or $8 extra. Wow. But you can you put in because you can select like I have them pay for the shipping and handling. I'm not paying for that shit. So that's when it comes in with the dimensions and the weight, because it'll calculate what the shipping and handling will be depending on where they are and your zip code. Mm-hmm. And so I got this new thing where I always overestimate because you just never know. And I weigh them properly. Right now I got this jank way of weighing things where I stand on the scale, see my weight, and then I stand on the scale again while I'm holding the object.
Oh my god. Really?
Yeah.
All right.
So what I've been doing is because I overestimate just a little bit, anywhere from 6 ounces to a pound or so, maybe a couple pounds depending on what it is. But the thing is, like, well, shit, if they're paying like $15 in shipping and handling, but the post office is really only charging let's say $9 or $10, it's like $5 that I'm missing out on. So I started now. They pay for the shipping and handling. I overestimate just a little bit. Then I hit up the post office, and I have them weigh it and pay for the shipping and handling at the post office instead of printing the label from the computer.
Feels like a little unethical.
I mean, it's just like a few bucks, but I just want to make sure I'm just squeezing every penny because these motherfuckers on eBay, they take fees from you. And I get this email saying your invoice is ready for the month of July or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Please pay $25 as soon as possible. What the fuck, eBay? I guess that's where they get you, where please agree to the terms of this check, whatever the fuck it says. I agree to the terms of this, whatever the fuck. What does it say? What do they always say?
Terms and conditions?
Yeah. Terms and conditions. Yes, didn't read it. I guess it was somewhere in there.
Oh, you're an idiot.
So that came in from left field. Luckily, I'm only selling a few more things, so it's not like this thing I'm going to be using all the time. But these motherfuckers are already taking $25 for that and a couple dollars here and there for every item that's sold.
Processing and
plus another, like,
fees.
there's like another couple dollars here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't care. I'm charging a little bit extra for shipping and handling.
That is so funny. Yeah. Well, because eBay really has just plummeted ever since the rise of Amazon. It's just people sell stuff on Amazon now, and it's free to sell stuff on Amazon. They'll take a percentage and all that, but that's so funny that eBay charges like a subscription fee or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just change it to Amazon, man. Sell that stuff on Amazon.
Well, yeah, I guess I already did eBay, so I'm only selling a few more things.
Oh, okay.
I'm not adding anything else. I have stuff listed right now, but I'm not adding anything else.
So
it's a pain in the ass.
We haven't really talked about your life transition plans. I've been sort of reestablishing myself in a new light, new state, new things. You've got some changes on the horizon.
So I am moving to LA probably end of September, beginning of October.
Moving to LA? What?
Yeah.
No. How did this happen?
It's happening for sure. I put in the request for my district manager, and she was like, "Oh yeah, totally." So she's already talking to people, so it's just a matter of hearing back from her with a few more details.
So it looks like you'll go there with a job lined up, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm just transferring stores.
That is gotta be so stress relieving for you.
Yeah,
that's gotta be so nice.
Yeah. I feel like if someone's moving, like driving across the country and move somewhere they've always wanted to move, it's like super exciting, like really awesome. Morale is high. They're super positive. And then once they get there and like 6 weeks go by and they still don't have a job, then it like gets start depressing. They're like, why the fuck did I ever do this?
Yeah, that's what happened when I moved to Minnesota. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, it was many weeks before anything started happening. And yeah, so you have probably the most stressful thing sort of locked down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything sort of falls in line after because you'll have the location that you're at, so you can get a place around there.
And I was telling you when we were on the phone too, like this time it like, because I've tried moving a couple other times, but this time it feels right. It feels like the universe is like, yep, we're behind you on this one. Time for you to go.
When you told me that you were moving, what is that, a couple of weeks ago, something like that when we talked, and you told me that. I'm like, you've tried, I think, to move twice before, or you had sort of tentative plans to go, I think, at 2 points.
At least twice.
At least twice. One of which was you would actually put down money on a place.
Yeah, that was the second time.
That was the second time.
No, that was the first time.
Oh, was it? Okay. And when you told me that both times, I was like, I don't know, man. I am totally for just shifting gears and like doing something different, but there's got to be a plan. There's got to be stuff like in place.
There was no plan. It was more impromptu. It was more like
frustration.
It was frustrating. It was
like
more
a
like
need to.
I want to go to California, but I also just like I can't stand being. It was more also there was an element of escape.
Yeah.
Like just like, running away.
Yeah. Totally.
Type thing.
Totally. And now, when you told me it a couple of weeks ago, I said, "Now's the time. You've got your toolkit.
Yeah,
You've got your assets. I think this is the perfect time.
Plenty of time. I've been plenty of time for planning. Also,
and you're only 30.
Calculations. Yeah,
you know? It is a good time. I think the best type of time.
Yeah.
To make that sort of change.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to not being here in the winter. I'm really looking forward.
I know, and that's it. Felt like maybe that's every winter. Every time winter came around or whatever, you always just got really
so
anxious. Needing
fucking hate winter.
I understand. I totally understand. Not really, but I'm gonna be living in Minnesota, and I'm totally fine with that. But I get it.
But you don't mind winter, right?
No, I don't mind winter at all. But I understand people who do. Like you, I know I've come to accept how painful it is every time winter comes around in the Chicagoland area. It's not fun for you.
No.
It is almost depressing.
It's like let's just sit around and do nothing for 5 months until we can like go out and do stuff.
Yeah, until you don't freeze your nuts off walking outside. So yeah, now you'll get year-round nice temperatures.
Yeah,
you'll get. It's gonna be an experience, man. What are you looking to do acting wise?
So when I get there, I'll already have a job, which will be cool. And the first thing I want to do is I actually just started doing this last night, looking into like acting studios.
Okay.
So
like small little independent ones, or big established chains.
No, there's both. Actually, this is funny because this is what I just started doing this last night, when I couldn't go to sleep. I want you to remind me to come back to that.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm looking up studios, and the book that I read, I have a list of like reputable, very well known acting coaches in the industry.
Second City or?
No, this is a book that I had checked out from the library.
Oh, okay.
That's called Self-Management for Actors, which is like the fucking Bible if you wanted to be an actor. Like, oh my goodness. Extremely knowledgeable. I thought I learned a lot at Second City. Like, I learned like 10 times more stuff in this book.
Huh.
It was awesome. Anyway, this is my process when I started looking up acting studios. I looked up only a few of the names that were listed in the book, and I looked up. There were a couple schools that were on this website, like top acting studios in Los Angeles. There was like 5 of them, and I look up the website. I see like how often the classes are, the duration of each class, how much it costs, like just basic stuff. And as I click on one website, I was like, oh wow, like I'm really impressed by this website. This is a beautiful website. And of course, they have a list of like notable alumni, and it's just like a whole list of famous people, right?
Okay.
And I'm looking at some of the classes. I'm like, oh, it's like a little pricey, but it's only a little bit more expensive than some classes in Chicago, which I would expect for LA. It's not like insane expensive, I'm like, okay. And I see I go to another website. I'm like, this looks like they don't put very much effort in the website. Also, this website, it doesn't have the information that I'm looking for, the very basic information that you're looking for, like how much do classes cost, how often, again, the duration, what types of different classes do you offer, do you have to audition, or can anyone just sign up, like just very basic information.
They don't have any of that information.
On one of the websites, they didn't have them, and on the other website, they kind of had that, but it just looked like you could see there was a glitch because you could see a little bit of code in the website. It looked almost as if there was supposed to be code there for a link for you to click on, but someone left off the backslash or something. So it shows the code.
Yep.
It shows the code, but you try and click on it, but it doesn't do anything. Type thing.
So they were using HTML.
Yeah. So my criteria for looking for a place is, one, what does their website look like? Does it look like they put a lot of time and effort and money into their website, or does it look like it just kind of got put together, right? Two, do they have notable alumni? Do they have a plethora of names of people who 20 years ago were starting out and now they're super famous, or don't they? The other thing was like, just do they have like basic information, and are the classes affordable? Do they offer classes, once a week, 3 hours each, or are there classes once a week only for 1 hour? Because that's not enough. You need to do 3 to 4 hours per session. So that's what I found out, just based on like, oh, this is what the website looks like, which has helped a lot because it whittles away places where I feel like I'd be wasting my time. And of course, you always want to just audit a class, just sit in, for a half hour to an hour, just to see if like that's your style, or like the teachers are kind of just like if you groove there, That's what I just started doing.
Look at you. You have a plan. You have criteria. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. It is interesting how the website sort of is the face of the first impression.
I'll have to show you when we are done recording. I'll have to show you some of the websites, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm sure some of these websites, like, they look like they could be a lot better, and it's a website belonging to people who, based on this book, is super reputable, and this book is extremely reputable in the industry. So I have no doubt they're competent and they know what they're doing, but just based off of your presentation, I'm already disinterested. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Honestly, that's kind of back when I was choosing what church I was going to serve in, many years ago. It was the website. It was the appearance of the website that really was that initial whether or not I'd be interested.
Yeah.
Because, like, you should be able to find out everything that you want to know from a company's website.
When I was working with this landscaping guy, when I worked for the company that where we manage the services, we would call them, and I'd be in touch with these guys. And he showed me a picture of him and his sons, and I was like, "Oh, you guys are dressed really, really well." And he's like, "Victor, like, there's no doubt that anybody can do, a phenomenal landscaping job, but you're not going to get the business you need unless you look professional." So he's a landscaper, and all of his landscape guys, even you get on your knees and you're pruning bushes or you're cutting the grass, they wear like brown shoes. I'm sure they're steel toe, like brown leather shoes, khaki pants with a nice dark green polo with it tucked into the pants. Like, oh man, if like even just seeing like a standard worker dressed in that, you just feel like you're going to get a phenomenal service on your lawn.
Yeah.
Rather than like guys, you don't necessarily have to be dressed like you're Oscar the Grouch living in a trash can. Also like with painters, how they always wear white and don't have a drop of paint on them. But then there's some guys who like wear the paint on their arms. You know what I'm saying? So appearance has a lot to do with it.
I agree. I totally agree.
It's that little extra in ordinary that makes you extraordinary.
Don't disagree. That's why when I went shopping, man, because I got some work pants too that were like perfectly fit to my body, which I don't have a lot of those. So just walking into work the first couple of days, I felt I know I look good. Like, it adds confidence to your own appearance, and it's cyclical.
Exactly. Did you have anything? You want me to keep talking? I have another thing that I want to get to.
Go for it, man.
Okay.
Let's see what it sparks.
So this is going back to why I stayed up all night. So I go to work yesterday, and I'm at work at 5:30, which means I woke up at 4:45. And yesterday, like, usually when I wake up early, I'm like a little groggy, but I'm awake shortly thereafter. And this time I felt off. It may have been because I took half a Benadryl, but usually usually it knocks me out and I wake up and I'm still a little groggy, but I'm back into it. But I was just off, and I was like eating my bagel real slow, and I'm getting to work and I'm just really slow. I get back home at like 3 or 3:30, and like an hour later I decide to take a nap. And I take a nap, and I wake up at like 9 o'clock, and I'm still kind of tired. And usually when that happens, I'm up for an hour, and then I go back to bed, and I sleep for like a total of 15 hours. But I couldn't go back to bed. I'm up until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh no!
And I only slept for like an hour and a half.
Oh my goodness!
So in that time that I was trying to get tired, trying to sleep, I watched a movie, and then I hopped on the computer because I'm like, what can I do that's productive? So I hop on the computer and I started looking up the acting classes. And then I was on the computer for like 45 minutes and I start getting tired. So I go to bed, and I'm tired in bed trying to sleep, but I can't sleep even though I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up, I wake up at like 4 in the morning, and I'm like, fuck, I've been asleep for about 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And then I go back to sleep, and I wake up 45 minutes later. I slept for there's no way I slept for more than 2.5 hours.
This was last night?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're running on.
But then I wake up at 4:45, and I'm a little tired, but I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, because this last week being the first week of work, I ended up only getting about between 4 and 5 hours of sleep at night or whatever. But what are your thoughts on sleep aids?
I don't use sleep aids that are designated sleep aids. I take Benadryl, and I will usually only take. I used to take a whole pill of Benadryl, but now I only take half of one, and I don't use it for more than 2 nights in a row. Because if you start using it on a regular basis, your body becomes dependent on it, and you can't fall asleep.
Yeah.
So, and I don't use it that much. The only time I use it is I'll take a whole pill if I'm trying to fall asleep and I just can't fall asleep and I need to be knocked out. But I'll usually take half a pill if I'm planning on waking up early the next day. I'll try and time it out, like take it at like 7:30 or 8. So I'm tired by like 9 or 9:30.
Because it takes about 2 hours for.
Yeah.
I mean, a sleep aid too. That's my preferred.
For me, it usually takes about an hour to kick in, but I take half when I have to go to work and wake up early the next day because I don't want to be like super groggy, you know.
See, for me, if I take it at maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever. I'm sorry, take it at like 8 or whatever. By 10 o'clock, it kicks in. You can get a good 6 hours of sleep. Just sleep like a baby. Wake up in the morning.
It's amazing.
Oh my goodness. Because I'll get up at about 5:45 or so in the morning. And just feeling, ready to start the day. All that. Towards the end of the week though, the hours, the lack of sleep was starting to catch up. I was living on coffee, and it was like the adrenaline was keeping me awake. But I mean, by Friday, it probably contributed to the whole bike crash thing.
Maybe
the lack of sleep. I was not falling asleep at the wheel. I had enough coffee to like drown a cow.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a weird analogy, but I did notice because I'm still using my Fitbit on a daily basis.
Okay.
Love this thing, but I can tell my heart rate, my BPMs or whatever, every day just kept creeping up. I know it's the amount of caffeine that I have in my system. I guarantee you, because that was really the only change. I didn't really feel stressed in the job or anything like that, but I could tell because they have coffee in the break room.
Yeah.
And it's like Dunkin' Donuts coffee or something like that. And I probably had good 3 to 4 mugs a day.
Fuck.
Yeah. And I think that there was a reason for all that going on. But it's kind of necessary when you get to the point of just your body just hasn't got enough sleep to be able to sustain itself. You need a little artificial
I've definitely had
boost.
those bouts where my body just knocks itself out for like 15 hours because the 3 or 4 days in a row of working and not getting enough sleep or not. I think I get enough sleep, but I just overwork my body because I'm always walking around, just walking back and forth all day for like 9 to 10 hours sometimes. 3 or 4 days in a row of just always walking. Like, it's like, slow down, you need to sleep for more than you usually do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think we mentioned it one time before. My first job out of college, they had coffee, and I tried it. I tried to like coffee.
I know.
And it just didn't sit well with me. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. But it is crazy though once you get to the 40-hour week plus the hour break. So you're there for 9 hours obviously, but then it's an hour commute each way. It's like that's 11 hours
bro.
out of your day. And then for me, because I'm biking, when I get home, I've got to take a shower and all that.
So which job is this? The data analyst that you were telling me about?
It's called customer process service team, which is like a customer service function that sorts orders that come in for various products that the company that I work for manufactures or produces in its warehouses across the country. It's a German-based international company. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I have, apparently this is pretty common too. I'm really not familiar with the corporate world at all, so this is kind of a new thing for me.
I am.
But
Go ahead.
3 monitors that you work off at the same time.
Yeah, that's cool.
5 different programs.
Yeah.
You gotta be doing a million things at once. It's a very like for me, my ADD loves it. It's like yes, my mind is all over the place anyway. So this is great, jumping from one thing to the next. It's just it's really stimulating for me.
Yeah.
It's like I'm never bored.
I always
enjoyed
when I did that. I enjoyed being very thorough, because we had dual monitors, but like moving from one thing to another, calls coming in, like it's a recorded call, having the work order, entering the notes, attaching the recorded phone call, just like tying up loose ends on everything.
Yep.
I really enjoyed the analytical part of things.
Yeah, and this is crazy too because it's the world's largest chemical producing company, and so this is like big stuff. Like
really?
this is kind of these are important orders kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because they basically facilitate everyone in construction. They're the pass through. So yeah, we'll have something like 200 orders a day come in, something like that, just for our branch as well.
We had the computer monitors, and then on the wall we had like 4 big ass flat screen TVs. Mm-hmm. When like we're busy with shit, it's got information on there. But like on a normal work day, when like things aren't going crazy, we had like 4 different channels. We'd have like, or sometimes we'd have like CNN. We'd have like ESPN, we'd have like other just
the weather channel,
and with the weather channel, and then we have one monitor for like for work.
Yeah.
But then on days it was great because like when shit would go down, like boom, we were just all sitting there watching when they were looking for the Boston bomber. All monitors were up. And we're no one's barely. Yeah. People are barely working. We're watching this. When the Olympics were on. All 4 monitors had the Summer Olympics on.
Oh man!
And on the weekends, sometimes when you have to work there on the weekend, it'd be like TBS, TNT, ESPN, and then like Fox or something like that.
Yeah.
For sports, you know what I'm saying? So that was pretty fun.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So there's maybe like 70 or 80 people who work at my branch.
Yeah.
Everyone that I've met, just super friendly.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's nice.
I was a little surprised by that. Yeah. So it's very interesting. It's a very different dynamic. I mean, I just have very little familiarity with it. I feel like most people, that's always.
Let me know when you start being responsible for things that are just completely outside of your control, and it's like does no one have any fucking common sense in here? Like, do you not understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm either A, not responsible for this, or this is completely out of my control. I don't, like, what do you want me to do? Tell me what you want me to do.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want to do, and I'll do it. But other than that, like, my hands are up, and sorry, nothing can be done.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not to that point yet, but no, I'll end up in the next couple of months, I'll end up getting clients of my own that I'll be responsible for communicating with. So I'm sure that there will be plenty of adventures to be had in that department. So I don't know.
Yeah, corporate has its pros and cons, and its cons are pretty big ass backwards, just stupid things. But sometimes there's a lot of pros too, like company beach parties and
beach
holiday parties. Where all the alcohol is paid for.
Of course.
Yeah, dude. They give you just enough to stay happy.
Yep.
Unless you open your eyes and realize what's going on and say, fuck this, I'm out.
Well, that's why I'm happy that I'm going to be getting ordained as well to the priesthood, because then on the weekends, at the very least, I can do wedding services in Minnesota or something like that. So there's the opportunity for me to still practice ministry while I'm doing the whole corporate thing. But
that's good.
There are just not enough hours in the day, I discovered this past week.
Okay.
Like, I thought ministry was busy, but it was also... I also had a car, and I also had a partner as well, like somebody who could do the shopping, so I didn't necessarily have to, kind of thing. So it wasn't all on me necessarily.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, so I gotta, because to get to the grocery store and all that, I have to bike about a half an hour each direction there as well, and then come back with a backpack full of like milk, and then the eggs. Try to get the eggs in there, the bread on top, so that it doesn't get squished.
Dude.
It's let me tell you. If somebody were to step into my shoes and just take over my life for a little bit, they would probably get very irritated very fast at how seemingly counterproductive a lot of my time management is. But it's kind of essential or necessary at this point in time, and I don't really mind it. I'll listen to podcasts or whatever.
Dude, you'll realize in the next, what you'll realize as time moves forward, you'll look back and be like, man, I really hustled with that bicycle and getting, working as best as you could with what you had.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's making the best of what life has given you at the moment. But I don't mind. I'm still young enough. I'm young at heart. And the added benefit of biking everywhere, it just makes me feel physically better.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure.
I burn about 500 to 600 calories each way.
Bro, you will realize when you're working in a call center, like in a corporate office, dude, you see people, the life has been sucked out of them because they're not doing what they love. They somehow got roped into a job.
They're sitting behind a desk all day, and then they're driving behind a car.
And I was going to say also, they're not getting any physical activity in.
Little sunlight, so their melatonin counts are down.
There's this one dude I used to work with, and this dude, he drank, I once counted, like 144 ounces of soda in a day, in a single day.
No.
Easily over 100 ounces every day.
So,
and
8 cans-ish?
He would come in the morning with, like, a 44-ounce, like, big gulp from 7-Eleven. Then... He wasn't like crazy obese or anything. He was like normal stature, like a little bit taller, but like would roll into work with like a big gulp from 7-Eleven. He'd have the big gulp, but he'd also come in to work with like a couple cans of soda in a bag that he'd put in the fridge, and he'd drink those before lunchtime, and then at lunch he would go out and buy like a couple bottles of soda too. And dude, easily, for sure, probably around at least every day, minimum, maybe 80 or 90 ounces of soda.
Dude, he's just asking for some diabetes right there.
And then there's this other dude who you could just tell, like, he, like, hated his life. He just totally hated his life. Because he's working for this company that he hates. He hates his job. And he also spends all day at work and spends like 3 hours a day on the train because he commutes like an hour and a half each way because he lives all the way out in like one of the most west suburbs for the train, for the metro. And yeah, man, if you don't dream chase and stay physically active, you're going to sit on your deathbed asking yourself what happened.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have some sort of dream like that. You gotta have in mind, and I can totally understand how working years and years of, and I'm sure a lot of people have the same sort of thing,
or
except they're driving like it's an hour commute.
If you're already at a job that you love, stay physically active.
Yeah. I mean, it just changes everything. But I think you got to do something outside of work. You gotta have a project.
Yes,
you gotta have like a passion. It's interesting. In the initial conversations I've had with some of my colleagues, it's like it's hard to find those passions that anyone's following.
Have that conversation with people. What do you love? What are some of your hobbies? Get a feel for what their daily habits are, and you'll realize it's just work, and that's it. and
maybe friends every once in a while, but nothing bigger. And it's like, I still have dreams. Like, I know exactly what my dream situation could be. But, you got to be doing something in the background.
Real quick before we end things, is there an update on the Chaplin scenario?
No.
Chaplin behind door number 1. Chaplin behind door number 2.
Yeah.
Military, prison, weddings.
It's interesting. So the prison chaplain, I went to apply the next day, I think after I told you about it, and it was down.
Really?
I think it might have been filled or something like that already. Or it just wasn't there. So I'm assuming it was filled.
Okay. That might open up again real quick. Keep an eye on it.
It's keeping that in mind. Military chaplain. So I ended up talking with the guy who I think he's a Green Beret, I believe, and he said he had a colleague who was a chaplain who I could talk to. I texted him a couple of times, my friend, and he has not gotten back to me. But I think he was getting ready to be deployed, so he may be out of.
He had a few other things on his mind.
But yeah, so for that I have the option till 35. Like 35 is the cutoff age, I think, for Army chaplain, which is probably the only type of chaplaincy that I could get into because couldn't do Air Force.
Like you can get into it
Navy
if you're before the age of 35, and then you can like stop when you're like 60 or
yes,
you
correct,
okay,
correct.
Got it.
Yeah. But they won't accept you after.
Yeah, okay.
Like that, so, and then wedding ministry and formal ministry hasn't really materialized in a way that I can take action towards right now, but like right now I at least, because Brooks was the one who vouched for me to get me this corporate job, and I feel like I owe it to him to stick around at least for a year or two or whatever, see how it goes, because he stuck his neck out to recommend me. I mean, considering my background, my past, like he took a huge leap of faith, and so I owe it to him at the very least. At least, if he ends up like leaving that job or something like that, then I won't feel as guilty. But for the time being, I like the job, and I feel as though I'm committed to sticking there for a little bit.
You got some structure.
And I just need to make sure that I'm motivated enough to be able to do some of the other stuff, like engaging back in ministry on the periphery while I'm managing that, because it is just crazy how the hours of the day just slip away.
Yeah.
By the time you get home, grocery shop and doing other stuff. I mean, I've had all this sort of like a lot of it's been paperwork this past week, but I can see how people's lives sort of get filled up very quickly.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Dang, I can't believe an hour each way, you said?
Well, no, it's like 45 to 50 minutes. So.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a good distance.
Time consuming.
It's time consuming. I don't really mind it though, because I love listening to podcasts, so I'll just listen to a podcast too, and they're normally about 45 minutes anyway. And then I know sitting behind a desk for 9 hours, I'm going to need to exercise. That's the way that I do it.
I can't remember what company it was. I don't know if it was I don't think it was an American company. I want to say it was like in Australia or something weird like that. I don't know. But they have data that has proven that they went to like a 32-hour work week for like I think 3 months or 6 or something like that, and they studied the employees and interviewed them, and there was an X percentage of increase in productivity and happiness.
I believe it,
because how much time is just wasted because employees are tired, or like a task that takes 2 hours takes 3.5 hours because they're just lagging or they don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? Just wasted money.
Yeah, optimizing people's time, because especially these days too, how much time is wasted when people on like social media or stuff like that, just killing time or whatever, or getting distracted or this, that, or the other thing. I feel like there's a lot of wasted time, and if you can just condense that, make it more of a priority, it's like, okay, we're going to make it 6 hours in a day, but you have to do the same amount of work that you would have to do in 8 hours.
Because if you're juggling more, you're going to be more organized.
But the lure of getting 2 extra hours in your day every day, I think, would be enough for people to say, okay, I'm willing to like
For sure.
make it a solid 6 hours or whatever. I mean, maybe not even have lunch, just, you know, a couple of breaks over the course of the 6 hours and just get it done, you know?
I agree. For sure. Well, that's cool to hear about your update.
Yeah, you too, man.
Really excited to bust out a couple more of these while you're still in town.
Yeah, we will plug away.
Yeah.
We will get a good couple more episodes. I still got some topics, so.
Oh, what? You got some topics?
Yeah, but
I don't
we're
have
over
any now. I did most of the
Well, I was thinking
storytelling.
more world events because we haven't touched
No,
base on
you're
like
right.
culture.
Okay, you're
so
right.
I feel like that's a whole nother segment that'll probably be episode
You're right.
106, I believe.
106?
Because I think we're on 105 right now.
No, this
But
is
I gotta
10.
check.
I don't know.
Oh, it might be 104.
I can't remember.
Well, we can look that up pretty quick.
Because we haven't decided when we're going to air this one.
Good point. Touche.
Yeah, for those out there, this is not live.
This is
If you haven't figured it out,
Yeah.
podcasts are not live. They are recorded at an earlier time.
What?
What?
What?